This week, we are briefly looking at bodies, and you're reading about it in the textbook chapter. And then we're actually going to delve into beauty, which I think is, well, stereotypes might have been the first moment you found yourself kind of wondering, why are we like this, right, as a society? But I think beauty also challenges that idea of like, why do we do what we do? So let's dig in. When we are talking about male and female bodies, if you look at sexually dimorphic animals and compare them to human bodies, let's think about this. So you've got walruses and lions and parrots and sockeye salmon and peacocks and all kinds of stuff. So as you can see on the screen, the average human male is 5'9", 195 pounds, and the average human female, 5'4", 166. And so we act like, don't we act like that's this gigantic difference? But if you actually look at sexually dimorphic animals, for instance, I think it's the elephant seal, right? So male and female human beings, 17% difference. We're talking about elephant seals, 8,100 pounds versus 1,500 pounds, 530% difference. So imagine if a human male, considering like the average human male is 5'9", if like it was 500 times bigger than the human female, like that would make it what, like 25, 26, 27 feet tall. You know what I mean? So I just bring that up, and that way you can kind of think about the fact that that 17% difference that we act like as a society is so very drastic, and our bodies are so different. In the grand scheme of all of like the animal kingdom, it's not. So then kind of delving a little bit more, like I said, into beauty. I am a low maintenance person. Fill in my eyebrows, don't wear makeup. We covered this when we talked about Weston Zimmerman's um, definition, like just gender theory, that type of thing. And so it's really, really interesting that when I go to look at the shelf in my bathroom, this is a picture of it. I'm really low maintenance, I said, right? Like I don't even wear makeup, right? And this isn't even like hair products. Although I think I finally maybe found like the best curly hair product for me. Maybe. I don't know, whatever. Um, this is just like the face lotions that I've amassed in the last, like, I don't even know or want to admit. I mean, I haven't met like a Sprouts and or like Mother's Market sale that I, yeah, haven't become good friends with. I just because I'm sorry, like washing your face at night and then like loading it up with creams, it feels delightful. Like potions and lotions and all that kind. I'm sorry, I'm all in. And so some of you right now are listening to this going like, "Yep, me too." And some of you are like, "Wow, lady." Um, Either way, we're going to reserve judgment, right? In this class, I think that's one of the things we try to learn how to do. But that idea of, do I really need all this? No. I mean, do I need variations? No. Could I have like my favorite product and leave it at that? Yes. I don't know how many of you have ever read The Handmaid's Tale or if you watch the show. The show's obviously going to be different than the book. But one thing, and I'm not a dystopian book person, I hate that stuff actually. It scares the crap out of me. But The Handmaid's Tale does a really, really good job of being haunting. And so I had to read it for my women in gender studies major because I was a double major at Cal State Fullerton. And there's a scene in the book, because all lotions are taken away from the handmaidens. There's a scene in the book where Offred, the main character, at a dinner, hides butter in her shoe. And then there's this like eerie scene later where she takes the butter out of her shoe, the shoe butter, and she like rubs it on like her arm or something like that on her skin because she hadn't had any lotions in forever. And that's kind of, I always think like this is the butter. Do I need it? If I were like stranded on a desert island, would I be okay? I mean, do I probably, I mean, do you know what I mean? Would my skin actually be dry, or would I just think it's dry because I put all it did, it goes round and round and round. So I admitted, here's my stuff. Go look at your stuff without like withholding judgment. We're not going to sit here and go, oh my gosh, even though I did that to myself. You just heard me do it. But like, go through it. And I want you to think about, you heard me defend it and be like, it feels delightful. Go look at like your various self-care items. What are the things that you're like, nope, I love it. Makes me so happy. We're going to kind of share a little bit about that in the discussion board. And then what are the things where you're like, hmm, do I do that because I think I have to? Do I do that because of society's definition of beauty? Like, where's the line? Where's that there's tension in that line between what we feel we have to do in relation to gender performance and what actually brings us joy? And this is a great place to start to take a look at that line. So, I don't know if ever in an intro to social class you covered the looking glass self, but I think it really, really applies to this too because the whole premise of the looking glass self, it's like Charles Horton Cooley or something from the 19 something. I'm a really good lecturer. It's, it's old from some time. Looking glass means a mirror. So, but the whole premise of the looking glass self is what you think of yourself is actually what you think others think of you, right? So you get your ideas about your attractiveness or lack thereof from what you think other people think of you. And so it has these three elements. We imagine how we appear, we interpret the judgment of others, and then that leads to us like developing who we think we are, whether it's being embarrassed or being proud of something. I mean, I suppose if somebody always told you like, oh my gosh, your hair's so pretty, your hair's so pretty, or you have the best eyelashes, you're going to probably think, rightfully so, you have some pretty hair or some really good eyelashes, right? And so I kind of want to always point that out too, that it's not just the negative talk. It could be kind of positive stuff, but people are generally going to say the positive things to you. They're going to compliment you, but they're not going to be like, oh my God, what's wrong with your nose? No, they're not going to do that. Chances are, let's think about this. Do you care that deeply how everybody around you looks? Because I don't, and I hope you don't care about me. I mean, granted, you're just hearing my voice or having a get to know you meeting. So, kind of thinking through like, what messages are you telling yourself? Where are you getting those ideas? That's what the looking glass self kind of starts to help us analyze. So, a couple of little quirky uh, back in time things. I have like this is kind of like a buffet of like telling you little bits and pieces, but things that are interesting. So, in the 18th century, like thinking about beauty norms, right? What are today's beauty norms? Who has the power to shape those beauty norms? I don't know, people on TikTok, right? That women would powder their heads so that they would look like white or gray, that type of thing. Meanwhile, nowadays, I would say that it's oftentimes beauty norms to cover up gray or white hair, even though I'm I've never dyed my hair and it's quickly going gray. So, but that idea of like, it's not cool. And I will be honest, I get mistaken as being way older than I am. That's always happened to my mom too, who never dyed her hair. And so it's kind of funny how that works. But thinking about again, like the times in which we live in, the beauty norms. So here's another one. In the 15th century, women apparently would pluck their like hairline on their forehead to make their foreheads look bigger. And if you're like cringing right now, going, oh my gosh, why would you ever? Take a second. Think about the things that we do as beauty norms that are not comfortable, right? And so, but we, do it in the name of beauty norms to a certain extent. And I challenge you to go back once again. Where is the line between I feel like I have to do this and it legitimately brings me joy? Because maybe, I don't know, maybe plucking out an inch of your whole hair, I can't even imagine, would, make them very happy. Where's the line? Keep kind of thinking for yourself. So, okay, again, another little bit and piece of beauty. Um, I learned about this when I had to take gender and technoculture as, again, a women in gender studies major. This class is cross listed as women in gender studies. I was a double major with sociology. So I love some women in gender studies. But I don't know if you've ever heard of the performance artist Orlan. I think she's in her 70s now, maybe almost 80. Fascinating. Orlan, as a performance artist, her artistry, her performance was getting plastic surgery on herself. Like she would set it all up and get plastic surgery on herself. And then she would have implants put in places that implants don't belong. So if you look at that picture over on the left, those two bumps on her forehead, those are chin implants. And so basically she's challenging society and saying, well, wait a second. I mean, we have these chin implants to, be beautiful. Well, why aren't they beautiful in your forehead? It's kind of a wild idea, right? But it kind of shows the arbitrary nature of alterations. I mean, this is significant. This is a commitment. This is quite a commitment to challenge beauty in this way. But I have spent a decent amount of time in the days that we have been talking about beauty norms in my gender classes for the last, I don't know, 3, 4 years, discussing BBLs. And I don't know, maybe they're starting to go the wayside. Students are funny. They were like, no, Professor Griffin, you don't understand. Everybody's doing it. And I was like, are you sure? They're like, it's all over, social media. And I'm like, are you sure it's not the like algorithm telling you that they like so you think that everybody's getting them? But again, that idea of that real pushing the limits of alterations to our body. And again, I will go back because this is not a place for judgment to be like, oh my gosh, I would never get a BBL. I would never get a chin implant. I would never get this. This is not about judging. This is about, again, questioning ourselves. What are the things that we do that we feel we have to in relation to beauty norms to be considered attractive or whatever it is, versus what are the things that truly bring us joy? Because I'm sorry, if a chin implant makes you so happy, who am I, right? Who are any of us to say? But where's the line? Okay, now, again, switching gears one more time a little bit. Want to share this piece with you because I think that this does a good job of kind of thinking through the obligations and kind of the messaging we tell ourselves. So, as you can see, it's titled Vanity. One only needs to burn their bicep with a curling iron to begin thinking of vanity. It was a Sunday, and I want to write that I was rushed, that the burn was a byproduct of a frenzied morning and a failed attempt at multitasking. But the truth is, my mind was elsewhere, and my reflexes are slow, and now there is a purplish reddish blemish healing on my upper arm. While I survey the many hours I've collected in front of the bathroom mirror, blow drying, plucking, moisturizing, brushing, applying, removing, and styling, it makes me weary. Even in keeping a relatively low maintenance beauty routine, the math is staggering. 30 minutes daily for 30 plus years. Let me pull up a calculator. No, this math cannot be true. 5,475 hours. And I wonder why I have yet found the time to take up the piano. But oh, I love to look pretty. I love to feel seen, to improve, to appear transformed with a brush and some cream, before and after, made over, put together. My grandmother used to call this put together. You'll want to look put together, young lady. As if we were broken and needed to be reconfigured. As if we were not yet one, not yet together, not yet whole prior to the applying of the lipstick, the detangling of the curls. Of course we are not whole. Of course we are not complete. Of course we are terribly broken. A dab of concealer will not fix it. But I still try. What is it about concealing that makes us feel better? That makes us assume we are putting on our best or putting our best face forward? What is it about the clothing we don, the uniforms we create that scream we're individuals when we are in fact camouflaging ourselves into another? I do not know the solution. I only know that yes, I'm probably overthinking it. Or perhaps I've been underthinking it for far too long. This piece was written back, you can see the link teensy tiny there at the very bottom, back in the days of so many people having blogs. But I think it does a really good job. Again, I go back to the same question. But I love to feel put together, the author says. 5,475 hours, the author says. Where's the obligation? Where's the joy? What's the line? Okay, last thing. And I'm not going to go through this entirely, but just take a moment as we start to head out from this lecture and read Dr. Tressie McMillan Cottom's, this is out quotes from her essay titled In the Name of Beauty in her book that you can see the title of there, Thick. And oh my goodness gracious, does Dr. McMillan Cottom take us to task as a society and really challenge not just how I've been kind of asking the same, where's the joy, where's the obligation question, but truly how treating beauty as capital, looking at what society does to us, the definitions of what is beautiful, the definitions of what is ugly. Just take a minute, read through these, challenge yourself. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge others. What are we getting from that? But where is your gendered performance in all of this? And I will ask one more time. What things are you doing in relation to your body or beauty? It's because you feel obligated to. And which ones actually bring you joy?